What's going on, Nerd Nation? It's your friend, the neighborhood Nerd King, Mac Taylor, here for another intro. We're doing another podcast, and we're treading some past waters because they put out another Evil Bong film. And guys, Cole and I, when we started this thing, we didn't think there'd be this many fucking movies, okay? It was a joke. We're like, let's do something funny, like Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man, not knowing that there were so many fucking films in this franchise. And they keep making them, so who knows? And at this point, we've done 8 Evil Bong films, 3 Ginger Dead Man films, and a crossover film between the two. So we're pretty much going to cover whatever they put out between those two franchises because we're in too deep. We made a mistake. We stepped into the water and sank to the bottom. So, this is going to be a thing for us now. I guess we're the place to go for Evil Bong content, which is never something I thought of when this podcast was started. So, without further ado, let's get into Evil Bong 8 Infinity High. Hello and welcome to the Film Vomit Podcast, an extension of the Vomit series of podcasts. As always, we're your hosts, Mac Taylor and Cole Selby, and today we have dipped back. You see, people, when we started the Evil Bong Ginger Dead Man franchise thing, it was kind of a joke at first, a joke that got stale very fast. But also, we didn't think they would keep making movies because they literally, since we started making them, they made 2 fucking movies. They made 777. And then now Evil Bong 888 Infinity High.
Yeah.
And this one, I didn't even know about this one at all. I was literally scrolling through Tubi one day, because Tubi had just added a bunch of cult films.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, let me see what's all on here. And then I saw it pop up and I was like, God damn it. So who knows how many they're going to keep making.
I mean, I wasn't as disappointed with this one as with other ones, I think. But
I think we've gone so low.
Yeah, it's there really was no way to go but up for this. But it still didn't go up by.
Well, I wonder, did they just shoot this movie on a whim?
It looks like,
it's in one room.
Yeah, it's
the entire time. There's the restaurant locale and the kitchen of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think in the beginning with Rabbit, I think they forgot to shoot that scene because I'm pretty sure he's green screened in the opening when he's talking. So they didn't even finish using the fucking location.
Yeah. It could have been literally any office space. You just put some tables around and
they've been using very limited locations the entire franchise. The first movie primarily takes place either in the apartment or the strip club of Bong World.
Yeah.
So they've always done this. But before we dive too deep into this very shallow pool, Cole, what you been watching lately?
Tequila and I just watched Up on Poppy Hill. It's a Miyazaki movie. It was pretty decent. Different. It's set in I think post-Korean War. So there's a lot of tension there. Set in that time period. It's pretty good. It's like a little weirdo love story between 2 fucking high school kids, but it's like the high school is the coolest fucking place on earth because they got a giant ass clubhouse and everyth's better. And I just wanted to go to school there. It was awesome. And also weird. It was a very weird plot surrounding the whole thing. I won't spoil it because it's actually pretty decent. But
I think I saw it. Is it on HBO Max?
I think so. Yeah, actually, that's what we just watched it on because I have the DVD, but I don't remember if I have it. I'll remember where it is. But yeah, we recently got HBO Max. Watching a lot of South Park with that too. So
yeah. Let me see what I've been. I keep track of all the shit I watch. So I just scroll down through here. I'll give you the highlights because there's some shit that we don't even need to talk about.
Yeah.
There was a movie I watched that was honestly worse than this because at least this I had a couple of whatever.
Yeah.
I watched the original Invisible Man. for the first time. I never actually
Oh,
seen the OG Invisible
oh
Man
yeah,
movie. The effects and everything, it really holds up. Like it's especially
oh
like I think this movie was made in like the 30s,
yeah,
but they did some really cool shit in that movie.
hmm
I watched because this was like around spoopy season. I watched Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire, classic decom.
hell yeah,
And my girlfriend had never seen it, so it's hard to show like an adult
hmm
a decom for the first time because part of I think my enjoyment of it today is just the pure nostalgia of it
yeah,
because that always played on Halloween. Like Disney had a
yeah,
really good Halloween block back in the day.
yeah. It did.
So like because I wasn't much of like a Disney Channel watcher. I was mostly a
Hmm
Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon kid. But when Halloween rolled around, fucking Disney had the shit because they had the movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this was one that they played every single fucking year. This came out in 2000, so like we were 4 when this movie came out. So pretty much our entire childhood
yeah.
consisted of this playing like once a year. So is the movie really that good? No,
hmm
but god damn it, did it bring back some memories. So so I watched that, watched Hocus Pocus. I still haven't seen Hocus Pocus 2, but I did watch the original Hocus Pocus because I watch it every year for Halloween.
yeah.
It's a fucking classic. I don't think we need to talk about how
It,
great
it's
it
it,
is.
it's yeah, it's fucking good. Watch it if you for some reason never have.
Fucking gold standard of like kids Halloween movie.
hmm
So my girlfriend had never seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street or Child's Play, so we watched the
Oh,
first Chucky movie and then the
oh
first
yeah,
2 Nightmare on Elm Streets.
nice.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is the one with all of the homosexual undertones.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary which I watched this year as well,
Mm.
called Scream Queen on Shudder, which talks about the effects of that movie
Nice.
on the actor who was gay and during the AIDS epidemic, and kind of this movie kind of outed him to Hollywood and kind of like forced him to like backpedal, and he like moved to Mexico and was like living off the grid for like all these years. Crazy shit.
Rough.
Definitely recommend that documentary. Let's see. If there's anything else I feel the need to mention. Oh, I watched not Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, but a movie that has similarities to it. It's from 1935. Has I believe Vincent Price was in it.
Okay.
It's about a doctor who like wants to like he like keeps this chick from dying. He like wants to marry her, but she's already marrying someone else. So he's like, I'm gonna torture all these people in a house. You tell him, Carly.
Yep.
So that was pretty good. I love like 30s to like 60s horror films. They have a very good spooky vibe. Like they have very great atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I always love watching that shit. TV show wise, I've been rewatching Fairly Odd Parents.
hmm
Classic, we all know. And
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, also classic.
Okay.
What there was a third show. And I've been going through Power Rangers Zeo, as we all know, but
Okay.
the passing of Jason David Frank
Yeah.
happened
Mhm.
recently. It was a very rough day for me, as you know. Power Rangers is my favorite superhero type property,
Yeah.
and Tommy Oliver was my favorite Power Ranger, period. So very, very rough day for me. That's why I'm wearing the shirt and the hat today. It's just to honor him, but also like it's green and it kind of goes with the theme.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been watching. So we're gonna dive right into this heavy quotation on the word movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
This felt like something like I know I joke sometimes about like how we could have like made it in high school.
yeah.
But, like we could have made this in high school.
Yeah. It's. Yeah, we could have. We probably we definitely could have made this. It's not. That's not a lot.
No,
At
there's not a
all.
lot.
We couldn't have got we couldn't have gotten the amount of titty that's in the
True,
movie.
but like
it's like the one thing.
there's like 2 scenes that use Adobe After Effects and
Yeah.
1 little bit of green screen. Well, I guess 2 bits of green screen, and that's it. It just takes place in this room.
Yeah.
So Yeah, we probably could have. I mean, it might not have been as crisp because, you know,
Yeah.
Charles Band has been making movies since like the fucking late 70s.
Mm,
So it wouldn't have been as fluent.
yeah.
But still, the fact that he's been making movies for decades and this is like the stuff he cranks out.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Because listen, I
It's
love
rough.
some full moon movies.
Yeah.
You know, we'll eventually cover some more on this channel that aren't
Yeah.
garbage, like some of the Puppet Master movies and Demonic Toys, and like, yeah, they're still kind of cheese trancers. Like they're
Mhm.
cheesy, but it's still a movie. It
Yeah.
feels like a film.
Yeah. I mean, that's kinda what Evil Bong 1 had for me
Yeah,
too. It felt like a
Evil
real
Bone One
movie.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not great, but like for what it is, it works.
Yeah.
Really, I think the first three Evil Bong movies aren't garbage.
Yeah.
And then we really start to go downhill.
Mhm. Yeah, it was after that. I mean, you could see it, but it just kinda hit you over the head with how
And then
fast
Charles
it
Band has
went.
been doing this thing probably since like 2008 or 9, where like he throws all of his other like properties into the films,
Mhm.
like this one especially.
Yeah.
If you hadn't seen, if you've only watched the Evil Bong franchise,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure Cole, that's you.
Yeah.
You don't know half of the references that are like he has like this like MCU of shit movies
Mhm.
where it's like Barbie and Kendra are in here, and they're from another like franchise. Uh, there, I guess you would know the Rednecks.
Yeah.
But there's like a
A
couple of other
bit.
characters who come in here, and it's like if you hadn't seen like these couple of other random movies, like
Mhm.
you what is this? And there's whole scenes.
Yeah, like an absurd amount of time, especially for the Barbie, Kendra
And
clique,
they're
like, that's the
fairly
whole
new.
thing. Yeah.
And the thing is, the one who plays, I believe, Barbie is Robin Sidney, who played Luann, Fake
Yeah.
Baddie, and all these other characters. Like, she could have played any one of those characters, and
Yeah.
it fit into the movie. But instead, you had her playing another character.
It probably would have taken too much clever writing.
It's not
Or
even
or or
clever.
or
It's
I
just
interact
writing.
maybe interaction writing, I don't know. Like like, maybe they didn't want them to talk to each other. Maybe they have, like, some beef.
So yeah, it's, and I knew coming into this movie, but it was only an hour, but it felt like an hour. All right, so
Rough.
for those who are wondering what is this movie about, it's pretty much Rabbit is opening a restaurant because he's trying to go legit again. It's like the
Yeah.
third time I think in this franchise he's tried to go legit because he was like a pastor or a priest or something for a minute.
Yeah.
uh and also it's funny because Rabbit in the first movie is literally like he had like 5 minutes maybe worth of scenes,
Yeah,
and he has become the main character of this franchise.
he was just the delivery guy.
Yeah, and he had like, I don't know, like 10 lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is literally like the only like they couldn't even get like some of like the other actors back who never did anything. Like it's crazy that he's the one that he's become the guy. Kind of like in Critters, Charlie becomes like the guy.
Mhm.
And then we get the Wicked Weed song again because they paid for it that one time.
Yeah.
And man, they're gonna fucking get every cent of
Yeah.
that purchase.
Mhm. Just
Because even when the song isn't playing, it's like what they used to use for the cutscenes. But there's
yeah.
no cutscenes in this movie
No.
because there's no reason to cut away from anything because we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then we meet this lady who wants to work at the restaurant named Tom Atkins, which I thought was a
Yeah.
weird reference to actor Tom Atkins from Halloween 3 and The Fog. Why the fuck is this character named after? Like, what?
It's endearment, man.
And Tom is played by former porn star Diana Prince, who is now, she's been in quite a few horror films, like a lot of low budget stuff, but she was also just in Halloween Ends. So,
Yeah.
you know, she's not horrible. It's just that she has nothing written for her other than she has tits.
Yeah.
That's it. She's not really given a chance to act. This whole character is just there for Rabbit to have bits with.
Yeah.
Because he keeps calling her the Maitre Double D.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course.
Yeah.
And then another plot line in this film is that Rabbit is trying to control himself.
Yeah. Like,
don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I understand not wanting to smoke weed because of all the shit you've gone through because of weed.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always been a creepy pervert. Why is that all of a sudden going to change?
Yeah. And it's not like it stops, like, ever.
No, he still does it. But then he's just like, oh, don't go back to the old Rabbit. And you're like, but what? You just did it.
Yeah, you do everything other than the smoke weed part. That's it.
And also there's a scene where like they're standing the bar, which is just like a shelf. I wonder, actually, is this restaurant the exact, because it looks like the same storefront shot. Is it what they used for Larnell's weed shop?
I think
but they just redressed it.
Yeah.
So did they just own this like little, like, is it like a rentable space where there's no businesses right now and they just keep shooting there?
I mean, if at this point I'd buy the lot with how many movies they pump out of it.
Because I didn't think about it till just now, but I was like, wait, because that shelf kind of looked like where they were set up for the counter of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wondered like how many movies has he put this in? But there's like the normal thing where you have a bunch of bottles with the labels turned away because you're not sponsored. But there's like 8 or 9 bottles of Belvedere vodka on the fucking counter. So either one, Charles Band, just because you don't see the label, but like Belvedere has a very distinct bottle with the like the tree going up or roots or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. So either Charles Band just really loves Belvedere vodka and just has a lot on standby, or it's Belvedere has paid him some sort of money, because it's literally like all Belvedere vodka and like 2 random green bottles.
I can't imagine a company giving them money.
I mean, they've stayed in business for decades. Someone had to pay it.
Yeah. Maybe they're just not looking for a good movie. They're just looking for a movie that will be watched by a lot of people.
Although I think he gets a lot of money from like softcore porn.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Full Moon does like a line of like softcore pornos.
I mean, they do.
Like super soft, like Cinemax pornos that have like a little bit of horror theme, where it's like there's a bunch of witches with their shirts off kind of deal.
Yeah.
I think it's where he gets a lot of his actresses from too. He's like, oh, hey, you guys do porn? Well, you're clearly okay with showing your tits. Please step into this room that I keep renting out and just show them again.
Yeah. And sit at this table and just,
I mean,
they get paid.
He keeps making movies. So, I mean, more power to him.
Yeah.
All right. So the plot. We also have these 2 waitresses who the joke is that they're always on their phones.
Yeah.
And they're dumb.
The joke is that they're on their phones until it's not anymore, and then it's
then all of a sudden they're doing other stuff.
Yeah. Like
one of them, I can't, because they're both redheads.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to tell them apart. But one of them worked with Shane Dawson for a long time.
Oh.
Like was in like a lot of his like short films, and I think a couple of his films.
Okay.
Because I looked at her up, and that was like most of her filmography was like Shane Dawson content. So I mean, she's had a career.
Yeah.
And then we go to the kitchen where the magic happens, and we see the chef is just a German stereotype.
Yeah.
Named Salmonella, only because we can make a bunch of salmonella jokes. You have salmonella in the kitchen?
Yeah, all for that. All like they named him that just for the three jokes that they have right after you meet him.
Then they never say it again.
It's just Sal after that.
And then Evie is in the kitchen for no reason.
No.
Like, this movie is called The Evil Bong.
Yeah.
And it really has nothing to do with The Evil Bong. It should have been called Rabbit's Restaurant.
Yeah. Like, this would have been a better Just Rabbit movie.
Yeah, like Chef Rabbit or something.
Yeah.
Or like, you could have called it many things. But, and you could have even said, like, Evil Bong Presents.
Yeah.
Whatever, and made it like this short or whatever. But you made it an Evil Bong movie. And Evie's maybe in it for like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe. And it's just insult. It's saying a bunch of like German jokes.
Yeah.
To the German character. Because remember in Caddyshack how he talked about them not taking this route and how it was like nice that an 80s movie didn't just rag on this guy for being Scottish.
Yeah.
This movie came out this year.
Yeah.
And it really took that route.
It's like I don't understand where they think the humor is coming from at all. Like I don't know. Like it's weird.
I mean,
like
I guess they know the audience that's watching is probably drunk or high.
Yeah.
And in a group. So it's like fun to rag on it. But it's still it's if we had like all the boys together.
Yeah.
This would have been a fun thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that I watched it only a little bit buzzed on my couch by myself.
Yeah.
Really drug it.
Yeah, I watched it eating ramen at my table and it was honest like it just wasn't good. Like that I wasn't laughing. Like I think I chuckled a few times throughout the movie, like maybe 3.
I laughed at the concept that it was a film. Like at one point I had to like take the dogs out, so I paused it. And I'm just laughing at the fact like I'm watching this right now. This is a thing that I'm doing with my life.
Yeah. I was waiting for the shenanigans to happen with the Evil Bong and they just really
because she even says like, and then I'll get to taking over the world. And it's like, oh, is that the plot?
Yeah.
That she's using this restaurant? No. God. I don't even think they had a script. I think they just showed up and were like, we have a restaurant.
Yeah.
We have Rabbit. We have a bunch of chicks who are willing to show their tits.
Yeah. They have to have
Let's
like,
go.
They just have footnotes of like, we want to get here, so do something to get us there.
Because a lot of the plot is just a bunch of random, like X character comes in, has a few minutes to do their shtick, cut to Rabbit, cut to a new set of characters to do their shtick.
Yeah.
There's no flow.
Yeah, like at all.
So then we get the Salmonella has a timepiece where it's like his lucky thing and it becomes like a bit. And I thought the thing was going to be like, he didn't need that thing all along. He was lucky this whole time, but no. That'd be too much work.
Yeah.
And then we find out Rabbit never ordered food because they couldn't afford to make a bunch of dishes that would go out. That would be like way more than the budget of the rest of this film.
Yeah.
So they have beanie weenies and bread. And I guess because Rabbit not like forgetting to order it makes sense for the character, and it is like a way for them to write around having to make like a bunch of like gourmet dishes.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have had like spaghetti.
Like spaghetti would have been good. It would have been fine.
Yeah. Like have spaghetti. Because it's Italian.
Have spaghetti.
And like it's like you could just make a big thing of it and just,
yeah, like
but no, beanie weenies and bread. Which I'm sure like because the points the actors are eating it is probably so cold.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
No.
At all.
And then they present it all fancily, and like there's this joke where she's like, take the top off, and then this girl goes to take her shirt off. She's like, no, the lid. It's like, oh,
like, wow, yep.
We also get this recurring bit of there's a big panic button on the wall.
Yeah,
we find out at the end what it is, but like Rabbit keeps going to the thing, almost hitting it, and then doesn't. That happens like a lot in the movie.
It's like the one consistent thing
Mhm. It's the plot thread.
Yeah.
So EB infuses the Beanie Weenies with weed,
Mhm.
but it really only affects one group.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be that it was affecting everyone,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
but it
'Cause,
doesn't.
yeah, just it's like, it just makes these girls get
Yeah,
half naked.
because these girls are like, I'm assuming supposed to
Yeah.
be like Instagram models.
Yeah.
So they're all like taking pictures the whole time. I believe at least one of them is a porn star. Uh, the other ones, because their IMDb pages aren't like pretty much only this,
Yeah.
and maybe a couple other small projects. Um, so they just all ordered the beanie weenies, but like it's written in certain ways, like the
Yeah.
number one, the number two.
That got me a little chuckle. I was like, "Yeah, okay. You didn't just say beanie weenie over and over that I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna do."
Uh, but they eat it and then all just take their shirts off, and
Yeah.
but they're still taking photos and stuff. But
Yeah.
that's and then we keep cutting back to this
Yeah.
throughout. Like something will happen, and then we just cut back to them with their because we had to get as much tit time as
Yeah.
possible
Yeah.
in this movie. And then the waitresses also start making out with each other.
I th
Another
that
just
that
random thing.
yeah, that they were just smoking the weed. They were just smoking weed too, after doing that, which
Yep.
is, I guess that's just what weed makes you do now.
But only the girls, because anytime
Oh, yeah.
anyone else eats anything, they're completely fine.
Yeah, it's just like, it's good. It's really good. It's like,
Because we are reintroduced to the redneck trio that have been in a few Evil Bong
yeah.
movies. I think it's been in like 3 of them now.
Mhm.
And their whole shtick is like, I tell you what, I do tell that you tell what I told,
Yeah. I
kind of deal. And that the girl with them is a prostitute,
and also,
a crack whore.
yeah, like, and with them both too, I guess, also.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
they
a it's
said
like
due to
a
inflation, like there's just a bunch of jokes about
yeah.
her being a whore, but like they said they rose it to a dime instead of a nickel.
Mhm.
But I do like that they're wearing their Sunday vests. So like
Mhm.
the one guy with the eye patch has like a tuxedo shirt.
Yeah.
The other guy's got like a polo shirt, but with his coveralls still over
Yeah.
it. And then she looks like someone from the 1920s. She has like this
Yeah.
old, like probably like her mother's dress on,
Mhm.
which gave me Pearl vibes because I watched that a few months ago. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just kind of talk about, bunch of horror jokes. The
Mhm.
timepiece ends up in his beans, and he's like, "Well, I found all sorts of weird stuff, but this is really cool. I gotta
Yeah.
watch." And then she like lifts her leg, and they do this whole like bad After Effects smoke cloud coming out of
Yeah.
her vagina.
Yeah.
Mm. And then we're introduced to, and this really made me just like, ugh. They have a Karen come in,
Mhm.
haircut and all. And I was like, oh man, we are really, really reaching here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is because again, I haven't seen all of Full Moon stuff,
Mhm.
especially recently, but this could be a character from another movie. I just don't know.
Who knows?
But yeah, they're doing all the Karen bits of like, I spend lots of money here. And
Yeah.
I know the owner and blah, blah, blah. It's really cringy,
Yeah,
really bad.
it's like, y that's not really a thing people laugh at anymore.
Yeah. Even Sonny Carl Davis looks like he doesn't want to be in the scene.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. It's so bad. And so the cook now he doesn't have his lucky timepiece, so he keeps burning his hand, and they have this comedically bad steam cloud.
Mhm. Yeah.
You guys have him put his hand on the stove and reach and make like a tss noise.
Yeah.
That's all you really needed to do.
Mhm.
You didn't need to have this like smoke thing
Yeah.
come up.
It was, like, really bad,
It's very
really
bad. Literally,
obviously
I could
bad.
probably make it on Adobe After Effects right now
Yeah.
before we're done with the podcast. That's how like cheap it is. And again, it's unnecessary to show how cheap your movie is in this instance.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, uh,
Yeah.
And then we meet Barbie and Kendra, who during the lockdown during COVID-19, the only way Charles Band could keep this factory of movies going was to do a bunch of COVID related movies, which would use Barbie and Kendra, a couple of scenes making fun of masks and things like that. And then he would take old stock footage of other movies that he owned, cut it in, and then have Barbie and Kendra dub around it. Because I believe their first film was Corona Zombies. Then it was Barbie and Kendra Meet the Tiger King. Yeah, because you got to get the relevancy.
Yep.
Even though it was like way after the Tiger King trend was over.
Yeah.
And I think they had and Barbie and Kendra Storm Area 51.
Yes.
Those are 3 films. I have only seen Corona Zombies, and it was hard to get through. So yeah, if you hadn't seen or heard, and don't blame me if you didn't, you don't know who the fuck these people are. You just know that Barbie kind of looks like Luann.
Yeah. It's about it.
And so they're talking to this. I think this guy played the tiger. This guy with the prosthetic legs played like the Tiger King in the one film. Again, I don't even know this. It just seems like he was in another one of their movies.
Yeah.
And they just kind of have a conversation with him.
Yeah, it goes on for a while.
And I don't even know if that's the script. I don't know. I think they were just hanging out at a table talking.
Yeah, just let it.
And they filmed it.
Yeah.
Because this guy especially just seems like he's just talking. Like, it doesn't seem like he's reading lines at all.
No. He's honestly like the best, like in this. If this is him
he's acting normal.
Yeah.
Like, my God, a normal person.
He's just.
Yes, finally, someone who makes sense.
Jesus.
Like, we just been hit over the head with rednecks and sex workers and Instagram models and Karens, and finally just your dad walks in. And it's like, oh my gosh, finally. And then they teleport away, which I assumed had something to do with their Area 51 movie. Again, I have not seen it.
I just rolled with it. I'm like, all right, that's a thing you can do.
Yeah, I'm sure you were very confused for a good chunk of this movie. Then Rabbit splashes the Karen with wine, and she storms out. And then a character who had like a very brief scene in one of the last movies, Rendezvous, comes in just to give Rabbit a pep talk. No reason why she's there other than that.
Yeah.
Does not come back again.
Yeah, she was in the 7, right?
Yeah, believe so.
Yeah, and she was only there for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I wonder why her?
I don't know.
Why her?
Was she just like is she just like a friend of Charles Band? So she's just like around, and he's like, "Hey, do a scene. You're here."
Yeah.
And then the ghost bellhop guys from 7 come in again, just for the bit that they can't pick up silverware and eat food.
Yeah, I'll say I think they're getting better at their little stick though.
Yeah, they seemed a lot less, like a little toned down, like a little more natural than they were in the last movie, but also they had less screen time, so maybe that was part of it.
Yeah, probably. Like,
and also the bar was very low coming in, so like, you know, because 7 seems a hell of a lot better after watching this.
Yeah,
because at least 7 had kind of a plot.
it did stuff.
Yeah, they tried.
Yeah.
And then a hand comes out of Sexy Hell and takes some food. So they're still referencing Sexy Hell, which I believe was 666, right?
Yeah.
Man, we have been through some shit with these movies.
It's been a while. It's a lot.
It's a lot. So Rabbit eats the food and realizes it's weed. He's going back to the old rabbit ways. And then Karen brings the cops who arrest Rabbit for no reason.
Yeah, like
Like, until he started talking about weed, they had nothing.
yeah,
I guess the girls were topless, which is a little off-putting in a
that
restaurant.
yeah, I guess.
I guess that's considered public nudity, even though
Yeah,
it's
but
Rabbit's space.
I th- he, he shouldn't have gotten arrested. I'm gonna say that. Like they could have gotten arrested,
Fair,
maybe,
fair.
but
Uh,
the weed thing definitely, I guess, maybe depending on what state it's in.
but then Rabbit hits but they're in Vegas. Does Vegas is
Vegas, it's legal in Vegas.
so then what was the issue? I guess because he was putting it in the food
I
and
guess.
people didn't know.
I
But they
thought that'd
didn't
be
know that.
I yeah, he didn't know. But there's just a lot of layers here that
Yeah,
we
a lot of questions that no one actually cared to answer.
yeah.
But
We weren't supposed to think about it this hard.
yeah, that's true. So he hits the panic button, which is the weed blower, which I believe came into play in Evil Bong 420. I
I
hate that I know the Evil Bong lore.
yeah. It was it was a
It was a while
it was
ago
420. It's when it started going down is when it was introduced because it was at
because
the
that was when
bowl.
Rabbit had the bowling alley,
Yeah,
right?
the bowling alley.
He's had a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
Like we have we have been
Damn.
around.
And I thought he was going to use the weed blower,
Yeah, to like
like
get
actually
everyone
use it.
high and make them
Yeah.
okay. No, he gets more high, and then he gets into Nothing Head, and so I guess that the joke there's he's about to pull them into his Nothing Head, but then
Yeah.
Larnell comes out of nowhere just for this end bit.
Yeah.
Reverse Nothing Heads him, and then they go to Bong World for the finale.
Yeah.
So they're all just hanging out in Bong World. And then the Ginger Dead Man and the Ginger Weed Man show up
Yeah.
in tuxes at the very end because they missed the party.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Another crossover movie next time, maybe.
Well, we'll be covering the Ginger Weed Man sometime next year.
Ooh, yeah.
So he got his own film.
Ah.
Yeah. Because there's so many. The Full Moon is like really cranking them out nowadays, but they're getting significantly cheaper. So like, I don't know how much this movie cost, but I assume maybe a couple of grand.
I could
Mostly
probably make it with
paying the performers.
yeah, I could probably make this movie with what I have in my bank account.
It's pretty bad.
Wow.
So Cole,
Mhm.
try your best. Give your thoughts on this film.
I went in with the lowest standards I could, lowest expectations, what we've watched. And it's like it's hard. It's like it's bad. Yes, it's bad, but it's not really a lot happens at all. Like you get like a fling of jokes that reference a thing that probably the writer thought of and thought, oh, this would be a funny joke. It puts a reason to put it in, and then forgets about it. Um, I thought it was going to be kind of cool, like sticking to a single small location, with not a lot of like camera work, green screen effect stuff, because I thought they would be able to like really focus in on the people and how funny they could be. That didn't happen, obviously. Um, I got a couple of laughs, sure. Like like when the first girls come in and they do their orders, like I want the beanie wings, I'll have the number one. It's like I don't know what I want. It's like, well, number two is just as good as number one. I'm like, all right, you got me a little bit. That's pretty funny. Larnell, I love him. Love seeing him. He ever like whenever he starts speaking, I'm like, oh yes, I believe him when he's
Mhm.
playing his character. I believe him. I think he's good. And he just brings it. But everything else about it was just kind of poo. The evil Bong is not actually in the movie. She's there to like yell at the German chef, which is just there to yell in German. like even the closed captions put unintelligible in the shit, and it's like, and sometimes they're just wrong. Like so I always have my subtitles on. I'm sometimes they're just bad. They don't even. It's not even what they're saying. So there's an issue there. Um, it's I don't think I want anyone to watch it. But if you got a group of friends and you just so happen to watch Evil Bongs 1 through 7, I guess you should watch this one.
I guess if you've committed to watching the other films, sure. Because, like, if you're going to get drunk with a group of friends, watch the first movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Because, like, I would never recommend someone just watch this out of nowhere.
No. You'll be more confused than me. I was pretty confused. Half the cast, I have no idea.
I'm usually aware of what Full Moon is making, and there were still some times where I was like, "What is that?" So, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, when Larnell's in it for a minute, like maybe literally 1 minute, and he's one of the best parts of the movie because he's actually good at like the shtick. Whether that's the actor's shtick or actually just him really good at playing the character, but he's also played the character over like 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah.
And it just makes you want to watch the other ones because they actually have people that put a good performance in.
Yeah.
And I can't blame the actors and actresses for the most part because they weren't given anything.
Yeah.
Most of their dialogue is just do the thing that your character, like your one note that this character plays. Do that. Like the I tell you, told you, done said guys.
Yeah.
They're not bad. It's just they've been given the same joke.
Yeah.
For like 4 films.
Yeah, like they know how to play their characters. That's just their characters are bad.
Yeah.
They play them well.
So like, is this like the worst movie I've ever seen? No. I could watch this movie because it's also really short.
Yeah.
I've seen worse films. But it was hard to get through and it was unnecessary. At the end of the day, if a film doesn't need to exist, it's very bad.
Yeah.
Especially in this franchise, if it feels unnecessary, that's not good.
Yeah.
So that was our thoughts on Evil Bong 888 Infinity High. Next week, we will be diving into another franchise that we've been through the works of, and that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We'll be watching the the one that came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
We'll be watching that, talking about that. I don't have high hopes for that one, but at least that will be better than this, which is not a high bar to clear. And then we'll have one more film vomit of the year, which will be Black Christmas, the 1974 Bob Clark film, which we've been trying to cover, I believe, for 2 years now.
Yeah.
So very excited to do that one. And then we will be on hiatus because I have a vacation, and then we have the holidays and the new year. This is not a good time to be podcasting, but we'll be back next year after those two, ready to go. More movies. So yeah, stick around to next time. Stay safe, stay nerdy.